Welcome to It's a Legit Metaphysical World. I am your host, Auntie Dale, and I'm hoping you're all having a wonderful week so far. I am having a very good week so far. Last week, I tried to keep a positive attitude for the whole week, and it just spilled right over into a fabulous weekend up in New Hampshire, and the energy up there is fabulous. For those of you who don't know, it is the Granite State. So for us paranormal people, it's usually a very conduit for a lot of spiritual activities up there. So I always love to go up there and kind of ground myself and balance myself. And it was a perfect ending. And today we had such a great day at the office. It was donut day at the office. So, I mean, it was fabulous. So tonight we are doing live card readings. So I am going to bring in our card reader, Nicole, tonight. If we can bring her in, buddy, that would be fabulous. There she is. Hi, my friend. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. I don't know if you heard my introduction, but today was donut day at my office. So it was, you don't do much better than donut day at the office. I mean, that was pretty good, right? So I may be a little hyper tonight because I'm probably all hyped up on sugar from all day long, but it'll be fine. So, Nicole, can you tell us a little bit before we bring in our first volunteer to be read? How did you get into this? How long have you been doing it? Like, how did you start first?
Basically, I've seen auras, energy, spirits all my life. So, from a very young age, especially when people were passing, I would know that they passed before I was told anything. It started, I think I was maybe about 7 years old, maybe, when my grandfather passed away. And that was the first time that I saw somebody before, like in the night, they passed and I crossed them over kind of thing. And so I've had that all my life. So it didn't phase me. I thought everybody did.
Yeah. It was your normal growing up.
Oh, so normal growing up.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's probably a whole other story for a whole other day. But, I did grow up in a very religious household. So, it was a little feared what I was able to do. So there was a little bit of that, don't talk about that stuff and don't do that, don't say that. And,
Yep.
Me embarrassing everybody.
But fast forward in that group, Nicole.
Right. I think there's a lot of us out there.
Now we're the embarrassment. Yeah, I think there's a lot of us.
Yeah. So in my adult life, I was able to step into who I really am and be able to provide the gift to other people. I do it a lot with aura readings and, card readings and things like that. And it helps people really identify different things. So when I do the aura readings, I can give tips, tricks, techniques on how to overcome adversities that I see happening. Yep. And it's real fun because it empowers people.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm all about empowering people. That's fabulous. Okay, so are you prepared? Do you need a few minutes to prepare before we bring the first volunteer in?
I've prepared already. Thank you. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, buddy, whenever we're ready, here we go. Here is our first person. This is Ashley. Ashley, this is Nicole.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Of course. So I'm just going to be quiet, and you and Nicole are going to do your thing.
All right, so you're scared.
Are you a little nervous?
Just a little.
A little nervous. I can see that. That's okay. All is well. Do you have something that you want to focus on that you have a question about?
Nothing in particular. Just curious to see what you find.
All right. Well, let's get at it. I usually use 2 decks. So when I do my readings, I'm just shuffling your cards right now. When I do my readings using 2 decks, I actually use one that represents the physical world and the other represents the subconscious. So I look at the conscious and the subconscious, and if there are any conflicts that are happening between the two when I do the reading. So I'm just going to pull the cards. So there's bunch of things here. And I'll pull them all first, and then I'll go through them with you, okay?
Okay.
This isn't where I usually read either, so it's a little bit of a cramped place at my other desk. All right, so okay. I'm going to go through the first round, and I might go back to some cards. It just depends on how everything unfolds with what we have in front of us here. Okay, so I've got a cherry and guilt. So what's happening is you've got this swiftness that's coming through. There was action taken, something happened. Maybe you didn't think all the way through something and you took action, things happened, they unfolded really fast, and now you're feeling a little bit guilty about it. I'm going to leave that there right now because I want to unfold as we go through the other cards, because there's more to this for you that's actually working in your favor. That's what I want you to understand. Okay. You might not see it now and it might feel kind of icky, but there's something here that is actually happening to work in your favor. So the next two sets of cards are kind of what kind of ripple effects out of that. And then we're going to go into where transformations can start happening. Okay. So what this is this has brought up an awareness for you. This is actually in support of you. And so I use a ghost deck so it tells different ghost stories, and I don't want to go into every single ghost story because I really want to get you the information instead of telling all the stories and why they mean certain things. So this is huge support in your favor and a breakthrough on the subconscious level. So even though it seems like there's some really crappy things that are happening right now, at least in your head, this is bringing up the awareness to create the breakthrough in order for you to, this is about not looking back. This is about making a decision to move forward for you and really not taking into account what has been in the past and basing your decision based on the past, because what is coming up for you on the subconscious level is abundance. Okay. It's abundance. It's a lot of good things, because guess what happens before we have a breakthrough? It feels like the breakdown, right? Remember that, because there's always this kind of breaking down of the old stuff. And that's really what it is. And when we're lost in that old stuff, sometimes it feels like things are being taken away from us or everything's crumbling around us. And what that means is it's just crumbling the foundation so that you can rebuild. And this is about balance. This is about great energy. This is about high emotions and being receptive. So really being receptive to be able to, being open to receive all the gifts of the greatness that awaits you. Okay.
Time.
It is about time. It is about time. And that's also where your growth is. So make sure that you take that mantra of it's okay to receive. I am open to receive the gifts of the universe in whatever form that they come to me. Okay. That is the empowering mantra right there. Go back and watch this again and write it down. Because what's happening next is we're going to look at what is the challenge that you are faced with. Right? Because there's this mothering energy. There's also a power that's within you. There is this being able to call on the powers that lie within yourself and loving yourself. This isn't about a love outside of yourself. This is about the love within you. So really amplifying that self-love is going to be I'm going to say I have chills with this, and it's like creeping up and like coming up on my back and down my arms, where the more that you can self-love, the more amplified that abundance is going to be, the more miraculous your transformation is going to be, and there's going to be tremendous healing involved in this too.
Well,
Okay.
let's hope so, because it's been a while. Long
Okay.
time.
So your strength, okay. It's a funny thing because we have fighting on the subconscious level. And when we're talking about strength, right? And this card right here represents like dreams and following dreams that can end up becoming the pipe dream, right? Just following something blindly and then, oh, it doesn't work. And now I'm disappointed. So, how is this part of a strength? It means you've got the fight in you. When you want something, you're not going to back down, and you are super strong, and you can pull on that strength to fight if you need to.
Always.
And knowing, okay, this is more of tapping into intuition, because you know innately when something is not quite right, and maybe I shouldn't be following this path. You've ignored it in the past, and it's bit you in the ass too many times, which also means you got the fight in you to be like, okay, not anymore.
Yep.
I'm not doing this anymore. So that's your strength, is really pulling from that. And your strength too will be in overcoming the challenge of self-loving. So just giving yourself the love, give yourself grace. Okay? Give yourself the grace to slow down when you need to. Like coming in very strong as you try to push through. That's not what the fight is about. It's not pushing through. It's about giving yourself the grace and fighting fully charged.
Right.
Huge difference there. Okay.
Yep.
So, guess what? Then the kind of like the to circle through. So we'll do 2 iterations of this. This brings us to where? It brings us to some really great like balanced male energies, so divine masculine, as well as, guess what, slowing down. So you want to hear out what you have that's going on, that's really telling you where to go. Slow down. You're going to hear the message. It's going to be strong, because that divine masculine energy is there. And what is that? It's supportive, it's safe, it's protecting you. Okay, because those are huge elements that are super important to you: being safe, being supported, being accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just going to pull the next round of cards. Okay, so give me 1 minute. All right. Oh, you have like the supercharge over here. I can't wait to get to this.
Me too.
Can you tell I get a little excited about stuff like this? Okay. So super funny is you had that divine masculine, and then what happens with that whole first iteration, if you focus on those things and you keep moving forward and bringing in that self-love and giving yourself the grace, it brings in that divine love, guidance, protection on the masculine end. And then guess where we start with this round is that nurturing, motherly, divine feminine energy that represents you. So we're going into this space of harmony, right? On the subconscious level, it's about traveling. So I'm going to leave that as that for a moment, because traveling can be a lot of things when we're talking about subconscious energies. So we'll go back to that because there's so much ahead. Okay. And when we look at when we look at what's next, right? So we just picked that first card. And so the next two cards kind of say, okay, here's the kind of the direction that we're moving into. Here's where it kind of shows. And we're looking at balance. So keeping a balance, and also balance and bringing in the energy of ancestors. And totality is in the subconscious, which means on that personal level, it's about feeling whole. Because when you start loving yourself and giving yourself the grace and bringing in that support within yourself, that's where the magic is. And that's where all that balance and energy and feeling whole comes from. And then you start attracting all of the things, right? So the next is, this is a poltergeist, but what that means is there's a super massive amount of energy that's generated from you doing that. And on the subconscious end, this is conditioning. So here's where we have a little bit of a conflict, right? There's massive amounts of energy, and it's overcoming your old programs that say you can't, which is garbage. I don't want to use too many bad words here, although I would. You know, I'll just keep it nice. And then, so that moves into where's the growth, right? And we're talking about Davy Jones' locker. And in those tales, Davy Jones' locker is about all the stuff from the past that's been hidden, that's been lost, that's been forgotten. So there may be a message in something from the past that will help propel you into the future. This isn't about digging up all kinds of things from the past. This is about a message from the past, something that you forgot about that's like, oh yeah, here we go. I can use that. On the subconscious level, feeling like a little bit of an outsider, right? Outside looking in, which can also, because where this is growth, this is a great card when it comes to looking at it from the subconscious space in a growth mode, because guess what that is? When you can observe yourself, you're aware. So you kind of do feel a little bit of an outsider looking in at yourself as you're playing things out, because it feels a little devoid of some of the emotions. And that's because you're able to fully support yourself without getting emotionally charged, while thinking rationally and being able to be in a mature place to make the decisions on what do I do next. I get to choose. You're in full empowerment in those instances.
Right.
Okay. So badass. Here it is. Here's that card. Those two cards that I was looking at, you have like a double whammy over here. So your challenge is on the subconscious level, no thingness, right? So there's no more labels, looking at yourself as part of the divine energy that we're made of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's no thingness. And the card is a complete blank slate. So if that's a challenge, the challenge is this: to continue to understand that you are of divine substance that gets to create anything that you want to create, and then take charge of that. So all that is where the challenge is wherever your limiting beliefs might say, no, that's not true. And you can just take a really spiked high heel into that thing and dig deep and be like, yeah, no, you're not true.
Yeah, that's my attitude. It's always whatever it is, I just grab it by the balls and go. You know, because you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, and really, like, looking at those instances where you are
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I'll need like maybe 2. Looking at those instances where you just really take those reins and celebrate. You've got to stop and celebrate, because it's not about next thing, move on, right? Strength is in, we get weird cards with you for strength places. So death, right? So death is about what? It's about rebirth. So your strength is in about taking something and making something new out of it. And then on the subconscious end, it's about suppression, right? So when I tap into what does that mean for you in strength, it's more about being able to hold on to your emotional state and really put it in like a place for itself so that you can react in a way that's outside of the emotions and
Mhm.
make something new about a crappy situation if it's crappy,
Yep.
and amplify something if it's a good situation. And then when we come to the completion of this, what actually comes out is so freaking beautiful, because this is about getting back in touch with the inner child, having fun, having joyful emotions. This is about emotions of pure joy and happiness. And what's on the subconscious? Creativity. How do you tap into that joy and that inner child? Is by being creative. So this is really about actually tapping into you in your purest, rawest form and letting that girl be unleashed, and enter and grow into a woman
All
from
right.
that inner child.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm
So
ready.
Ashley, did that reading, did it make sense for you? Could you understand it all?
In some ways, yeah, because it's been a challenging few years, and I never really pay attention to myself. It's always, situation after situation, go, go, go. And
Yeah.
sometimes, like she says, it's nice to just do what you got to do and then stop and then enjoy the view for a little bit and then go to the next thing. So, but the thing is I don't take care of myself at all in this. And it's time for me to stop and do something for me.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
So you felt like you've been stuck in the mud like a zombie walks. Think about how a zombie walks. Like, really, everything's been really hard and exhausting.
For
And
years.
it's kind of funny where now it's time for you to like take the chains off. You have control over the situation. And what is your thing to think? I actually pulled the card that I'm in, the basilisk, which is all about what is it, because part of your journey is what have you not allowed yourself to see because it's been too scary, too dangerous, not safe, not secure. Something that you've been avoiding that you know that you can tackle.
Yeah. Or something that I'm avoiding that I shouldn't be avoiding because it's actually a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pull by the horns, or, like
To
you
be
said,
less.
grab it by the ball.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Guys, thank you.
Bye, Ashley.
So, Nicole, what I noticed about you, my goodness, when you start reading, you get animated and you are like
Oh,
bouncing off your seat. Like,
I
my
do.
goodness, like you can see the energy coming out, just getting louder and louder in you. Now, is that because you're getting the energy from the cards, or are you getting energy from like spirit around you, or both?
I would say it's more. I get the energy from the guides that are bringing the messages.
Yep. Yep. Makes sense.
So the cards just kind of help deliver the messages, and it's the spirit guides that are around that are, you know, bringing that message forward, because especially when I read there, when I look at the cards to see the message,
Yeah.
I could give a different message based on the same card for a different person, because there's parts of the cards that light up
Yep.
that have to come out. So that's how I see them. There's parts that illuminate, and this is what I'm talking about, and this is how it goes together. So when I look at all the cards, there are little pieces that are lighting up all over the place, and then sometimes when I say certain things, something else will light up in another card, which is why I say I'll go back to that if I need to.
Right, right. And when you open yourself up to the reading of the cards, do you sometimes, when you see somebody, see a spirit standing there with them?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's if I don't say something, I'll get a lump in my throat and then I can't swallow and then I can't breathe.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
must be
wasn't fun
interesting
when
for
I
you.
had a lot of resistance around it.
Huh?
I said that was not fun when I had some resistance around doing it before.
Ah, okay. All right. Do you need a few more minutes to clear the cards or anything before the next person comes in?
I'm doing that right now.
You are good. Okay. All right. Just let me know when you are ready and we can bring the next person in. I think it was fascinating though for me because I am a therapist, so the subconscious is very interesting to me. So to see the two combined, the way you read the two is really fascinating. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I've never seen it before, and I do it because that's really, I'm always bringing in the subconscious to whatever, and really a lot of times what we have, what we see in our lives as challenges, it's because there's a conflict between the subconscious and what you're trying to do in the physical.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the ghost cards, I've never heard of ghost cards before.
It's all ghost stories. I was so reluctant to read any decks because it was such a weird thing, because I'd look through decks and I'd get all excited because I'm like, oh yeah, this might be the deck.
Yeah.
And then I'd get to one card that I didn't like, and I'm like, nope. So I bought a lot of decks that I didn't do anything with because I had to connect with every single card.
Yep. I totally get that. I've bought so many decks over the years, and like you get all excited, you open them up, and you're like, no, these aren't them. I'm like, shoot.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've all done that. I end up giving them away to people who I think need them.
Yeah.
They're not mine, so.
You can do creative things with them too. A little bit of art.
True.
Yeah. So I'm ready when you're ready for the next person.
Okay, buddy, we are ready. Hi, Miss. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us. We
course.
really appreciate it. This is Nicole. So
Hi,
I'm going to step
Nicole.
back and let Nicole and you talk and do your
Okay.
thing.
All right.
All right. So is there anything that you wanted to focus on in particular? Any topic or question?
No, I guess I really would like to know the energy and my people that are around me spiritually.
Okay. Is that it? We'll just see what they say.
Yeah. There's so much I could say.
Yeah. I'm picking up on some things, so I'm just gonna let this go, and we'll see what happens right now. Okay. Well, this is interesting.
Oh boy.
It always is with Missy.
All right.
Very true.
Must be one of those dates. All right. So this is about family. And really like all the family. And for you, this is about, there's a dichotomy in the family. Let me just go to the subconscious level. On the subconscious level, it's totality, right? That feeling of wholeness. And when it comes to family, there's a dichotomy where, like, in some instances you feel included, and in other instances there feels like this void. So it seems to oscillate back and forth and back and forth. So I'll kind of hold on to that for a moment, because you're the one who acts fast. You act fast, or maybe you speak fast, right? Or speak quickly. And it's misunderstood a lot of times in what your intention is. So you're misperceived quite frequently. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of love in your heart. And that's what's really misunderstood, is your intentions are misperceived as something other than, or maybe even selfish is the word that I'm hearing, that I don't really feel like that is you. So there definitely, hold on, because something is happening. There's definitely something coming in on my left side. So on the maternal side is coming through. So somebody is here for you. And now on the right side. So you have, I'm just going to take a moment. You have a lot of love and support around you. Okay. You see this?
Mhm.
That's when I get a surge of love energy. That's what that is. And there's this, they're there. They're trying to speak to you. This is why I'm getting this thing in my ears. And, God, it felt like a bug went in my ear. So I was like, I gotta take a moment. But whatever it is, maybe they're trying to put the bug in your ear on something. Okay. So I'm gonna hold that for a moment too, because I feel like there's more to unfold on that and them. So they're getting a little bit giddy because there's something coming up in your future that needs to be celebrated, whatever that is. So let's just keep going. Inner child, like when it comes to like moving this energy, I think it's going to be important for you to tap into your inner child to get over the programs and patterns and behaviors that have conditioned you to be it's the word I'm looking for. It's not exactly stifled, but something similar to that. Really being held down or feeling like you're held back because like it's like this feeling of it's not safe to be me. Being me is different and people don't understand, so I'll be judged. So what ends up being happening is you've had some betrayals in the past that have really like brought you down and really tore you down. However, through that, you've been tapped in to the divine, and that's what's gotten you through. And I'm getting this surge of like confirmation from your guides that, you know, recognizing how tapped into the divine that you actually are, and recognizing the power that you do have within yourself to bring that forward is there's no beating any of that. Like you beat yourself up for no reason, but there is a reason, because it's the patterns and the programs and the misperceptions and all these things that are piled on, that it's what I'm seeing is like picture. Oh wait, do you know the movie Labyrinth?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, just picture this thing with like this gigantic, like not just a backpack, but like a whole bunch of junk piled up on the back. And that's you. You've got all this stuff, and half of it isn't even yours. There's an epigenetic thing that's in your lineage. So I kind of want to go in there and just like correct some things, correct a few timelines. Maybe if we have some time to do that, I can just do something real quick, if that's okay with you and everybody. Your challenge is about really keeping this balance through the ancestral lineage. So there is this balance that needs to happen through the ancestors, and being open to receive it. So just being open to receive the transformation that takes place by releasing the things from the past that no longer serve you. Because a lot of the beliefs that have been instilled on you, they're not yours, and they don't belong in your system, because it's literally short-circuiting what you can accomplish. Let's see. When we look at your strength, when we look at your strength, you've got all the backing that you need. Like the divine is pouring into you. What's happening is your mind understands it and your body is revolting against you. It's like it locks up, it goes into overwhelm. The things that have to do with like the abandonment, shame, and just feeling like you're not good enough, those things can melt away like butter on a hot flame. The body holds on to these things in the physical, and there's a little bit of a process that happens in order to release it. So really seeing beyond the illusion of what you've been told or what you've been telling yourself or how you've interpreted and assigned meaning to certain things that have happened in your life, those can be taken and stripped right away, because really what's awaiting for you is this sensation of like full enjoyment, full it's like that little kid joy when you get something or you see something that is so spectacular and you're just like, ah, there's all this energy about really loving life and being able to love life and adventurous spirit that you have on your subconscious level to tap into that and overcoming those fears of I can't, I won't be able to, I'm not good enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, or people will judge me or abandon me. All that stuff. I want to, how much time do we have?
Oh, we have plenty of time.
Okay, good. Because what comes next, let's talk about it. Oh, yay. Here's that thing I was talking about. Okay. So going through all of that stuff, really honing in on that and paying attention to those things is now we're looking at the next layer. What happens when you start working in that direction, you start doing those things, right? So there's a rebirth that happens on the subconscious level, which is like a breakthrough, all this new stuff, a transformation that takes place, and it's a clear slate. So you get to choose whatever it is that you create. You have the power of all of that. And then moving into letting that unfold, when we look at that, there's this space of really tapping in. And even though this is like the judgment card per se, it's really you evaluating. I see you evaluating your values and what you want. It's about getting into alignment. So when we're looking at what happens next, this is about getting into alignment with who you are, not anyone else. Because what happens when you go to judgment, let's say, right? Mm-hmm. If we pass and we go to judgment, what are we being judged against? Our own self, our own heart, right? So this is about stepping into who you are, allowing yourself to come out, right? If we're opening up that flower, it's okay, here I am. It's safe to be visible. It's safe to be you. It's safe to repel people who don't align with you and your values and what you want in life. That's okay. I say it a lot to my clients where, repel is just as important as attracting, right? Repelling those that are not in alignment is just as important as attracting those who are, because you want to attract those who are. And we attract those who are when we are in alignment with ourselves first. So think about that, because there's things that are important to you. Those are your values. Tap into that. And what do you do? What behaviors can you elicit in your life that show those values in action? That's where you're going to find a great transformation that is centered around you. And that, my dear, is not selfish in the sense that's negative. It's selfish in the sense that That is what you are here to do. That is what you know, your life is all about, is exploring and discovering who you are and letting that shine. So then we come up to how appropriate. A decision needs to get made, and on the inner struggle, it feels like a burden, right? I have to make a decision. Why do I have to choose between the two things? This is a big, huge dichotomy. Well, that's life too. And guess what? When you tap into your head, your heart, and your gut, you're going to know what the answer is. There's no questioning it. Your head, if the head says yes, okay, the head can lie. So if the head says yes and the heart and the gut say no, go with that. No. If the head says yes and the heart says no and the gut says yes, guess what? Well, the heart can be sad about traumas from the past and lie because it wants to protect you and be safe. So if the head and the gut say no and the heart saying yes, and that's dangerous for real, right? You don't go. So if the head says yes and the heart says yes and the gut says no, well, the gut can be telling you, here are my fears about this. So you need to have 2 out of the 3 that are saying yes, 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 or no, 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 in order to know which is which. Obviously, if they're all 3 saying yes, go, or no, don't go, or whatever it means, you follow that. Right? But if you tap into all of those, that's where we get confused, because when our fears come up, when the things that have hurt us in the past come up, when our mind is playing tricks on us, that's where we get the conflict inside of ourselves and we don't know which way to go. And then we feel overwhelmed and then we lock up and then we don't do anything. And then we sit there going, why am I not doing anything? Well, because I'm too afraid. So give yourself some grace, tap back in, love yourself, and move forward. Because what happens next is you get to be in a vulnerable place, but still be super safe to do it. And lots of inner healing. So how do we get that healing? We've got to be able to get in that vulnerable space, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like half naked. There's snakes and critters all over. And she's still okay. It's safe because you trust yourself. The challenge is in letting go of things of the past and really tapping into your own self and not losing your head, not overanalyzing. When you sit there and overanalyze like you do and spin your wheels and talk yourself in and out and in and out and then out, I'm done and over, and then we'll hash it out some more and make ourselves feel even worse. That's the challenge, is stopping that. Because the overanalysis doesn't help you. So ask yourself, is my behavior serving my needs? It's a great question. Everybody out there, ask yourself, is the behavior serving your needs for anything? And then when we move into the space of, doing that work, getting there, your strength lies in, there is a male energy around you or within you. So it could be either. This is a very like hunter, kind of like, I like to look at this one as more like that woodsman, lumberjack kind of energy, kind of that bear, protective, master of being in the woods, master of, hunting, but gentle spirit as well. So there is that. And then subconsciously there's celebration. So whether it's you meet somebody or you have someone in your life who has this energy, this is your strength. This is your rock. This is your person. And then that results in, there's some love energy here. So there's definitely a love energy there. And also, guess what? That matches up with, fulfilling your dream.
2 more minutes, Nicole.
Okie dokie. I'm done with those, but I'm just going to pull these 3 cards from this other deck of what energies to focus on for you.
Okay.
Okay. So the elf energy is kind of like, this might be a little bit more of how your energy comes across with other people. Is just, you've got this energy that's, it moves quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Tapping into your subconscious and really seeing, which direction do you want to go, and you choose, because you will always pay the price. So make your decisions wisely. And then there's a protective force around you with the hellhounds. Protective force not to be reckoned with, and that's your people that are here, and they're really, they want to celebrate with you. They're like, this is just the beginning. So I don't know what that means, but this is just the beginning. How you transform, you're going to feel a little bit like you're in that chrysalis and you've liquidated. But when you start to emerge, people may not recognize you, and that will be for a reason.
Okay.
Nicole, do you still feel those 2 presents that first came in when you first started with Missy?
I feel them. There's like this, my ears want to pop. So there's some things that my ears are itchy inside. They want to pop. There's things that there's a lot of strength. So I really like the energy that is there. There's a lot of strength. It's almost like they're building this ladder of like, hey, all right, just climb it. Like, here it is, climb it. We've got you. We're surrounding all the sides. There's an element of just take an action. You've been feeling trapped and alone and not supported for so long, but it's almost like you need to hold on to the support that you have within yourself. Wiggle your spine, and I mean it, like wiggle from the base of your spine all the way up to your neck. It gets the energy moving. That also triggers that self-supportive energy, because that's huge. And tapping into who you are is utmost. So do you get messages through cardinals and dragonflies?
I do get some cardinals. Dragonflies, not so much.
Watch the dragonflies, the little blue ones, this year. I feel like that's really, there's something that's in there that they're trying to show you to tap into that little girl and bring out the joy that's there.
Okay.
And there's a special necklace. There's a special necklace.
Okay.
With whoever's connected to that necklace, I keep going from the throat to the solar plexus, where it's, did you used to sing when you were young? Or did they sing?
They
Something
did.
about the song.
They
something
did.
Okay, something about the song. They want you to sing the song. because it's going to give you that strength and tap into your inner power. That song is special, and it's going to trigger some very meaningful things and a lot of healing. So belt it out, baby. It doesn't matter if you think it sounds good or not. Do the song, sing that song
Okay.
loud and proud, wherever. If it's just in the shower, because you know what? There's a lot of energy behind that.
Okay.
I want to hear what happens on that. Send me an email after you start doing that. I'll talk to you in about a month at least.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Missy, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Did all this make sense for you? Do you feel like it was?
Yeah, I definitely know there's some push and pulling going on around me, and you know, it's just been a lot of big life changes in the last couple of years, and a lot of just negative stuff that I'm trying to be in a more positive element for myself. So
Yeah.
If you go back and you watch this, go rewatch this and take out all those little nuggets that I gave you, the techniques to use, because those will be super helpful in getting you when you feel faced with the challenges and the blocks to continue to move forward. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
Bye.
She's a dear friend. Her energy is fabulous. It just is.
Yeah.
And that was
so much good
amazing.
stuff there.
You could tell, you're right, your face changed when those people came around you. You could see it on your face that there was spirit around you.
Yeah, one came in and it was like I was tapping into that, and then I was like, okay, acknowledging, and then this one came in and I was like, gah. I was like, wait, but I'm here too. Like, okay, dude.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. She always has a pretty strong someone with her all the time. She just does.
Yeah.
Now we have about 7 minutes left. Do you think maybe you could do a quick reading for Buddy, or see if anybody is around him? There he is. There's Buddy.
What's happening, buddy?
We
What do you
can't
want
hear
us
you,
to
Bud.
Okay, I unmuted myself. I'm
There you
actually,
go.
glad there was time because I've had something said, for I don't know, a couple of weeks now. It's been like, I'll let you do what you do. But on one of the last shows we had a medium on, and he mentioned somebody. I've been getting signs like, whoa. So I just want to you to elaborate a little bit more on that if you could. I'm not going to give you any more details. I'm sorry.
What, to
Oh,
see
so
if
you're-
somebody's with you, Bud?
Yeah, see if there's
So you're
a
asking
spirit
me to
around me, if
find
they're trying to
those?
tell me something, or they're just saying, "Hey, what's going on?" or what the deal is.
Okay. It doesn't always work that way, though.
All right, well, do what you got to do. Do what you can do, and throw your cards at me. See what you got. I don't know.
Let's see. Let's see what's happening.
All right, cool.
Let me do this. I think it's like 7 minutes.
Yeah, we can go a little bit
Go
over.
the time you want.
Not a problem.
It doesn't matter.
All right. Let's do this. I'm just going to actually tap into your aura right now. So I'm going to do more of an aura reading because those I can do really quick. And I pulled a few cards for you as well. But I want to tap in to your auric field here.
All right.
And I like to do like graphics with them, but I don't have time to do it right now. However, right now, dealing with it right now, what I see in your aura, you've got like a indigo, blue, purple, like that deep dark. It's like a bluish purple that's in there. And that is really super sensitive. There's also a level of overwhelm because sometimes you get really open and so much is coming through that you don't know what to make of it. So it has to be kind of dialed down a little bit in the crown. So what you can do to help with that, so you get more of the information, I like to say when I see that color that's in there, or feel that color that's in there, it's kind of like taking a little kid's teacup and turning on the faucet from like the tub faucet, and then trying to collect the water, and it's going all over the place. So there's not a lot that gets through because there's just so much, and you can feel so much, but it's overwhelming. So that's what happens there. If you put your attention to your crown and you actually just hone in on what it feels like, and you can do that right now, and just hone in on what that feels like, and just say the words adjust, 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 and feel it adjusting itself until it just kind of like keeps saying it. It just kind of goes and it clicks right like that. You feel the difference in the energy right there. There's a huge difference in the energy.
Okay.
Right? And it allows it to kind of like funnel it. So that's like dialing the faucet to the appropriate size. So if you dial it down so you can capture more, now your ears are opening up. You're going to be able to hear. So those signs that you're asking about, see, we need to teach you how to understand those signs for yourself.
Right. So I do hear things from time to time. Not that I'm like ill at all. Just from time to time I do. Yeah. Sometimes it's a whisper. Sometimes it's a full-on voice. A lot of the times though, I'm looking for it. Like I said, I'm a paranormal investigator, so I go out and I almost look for this stuff sometimes, and sometimes I get an answer that I can hear. Sometimes I don't in the moment, but yeah, there's been some clear buddies that have come through.
But yeah, if you use that so that it kind of like dials it. If you just focus on it adjusting to what you need, it will dial it to the space that it needs to be at any given time. So if you get used to doing that and you do it frequently, you can train yourself to just automatically do it. So you don't have to actually focus on it if you do it long enough and enough times and throughout the day. So you've got that energy that's there. So that actually kind of like when you do that and you bring into that space, you're able to keep it more at a flow. So then it brightens up the aura. It brightens up the blue in there to that bluish, purplish color. And so you've got like this more purpley color in there, and you've got like a little bit of red because of things that you have, responsibilities that are coming up on you. So to take action on in those regards. The red that's in there pertaining to the future are those actions that you'll be taking. There's a little bit more creative element that needs to come in. There's also, because of some of the responsibilities, if you don't prioritize, then you're going to feel like some of the joy is being taken away from you. So it's going to feel a little bit more mundane. On the scope of relationship with you, the energy between you and other people, there's definitely this, I'm just bringing this in over here because you've got this red-orange energy that's in there. So you like to be moving, you like to be doing things, you like to be taking action. And there's a little bit of that creativity that comes in, but there's more of the doing, taking action, and being part of things. So you got to watch out for people that want to take advantage of you and just say, oh, buddy, will take care of that because you're a doer, right? So
yes. Oh my God. Yes.
You got to watch out for that. There's also this element of, because you're willing, people will wait to see if you just do it. So there's some boundaries there, right? There's some boundaries to be had.
That's honestly that's what's going on for me at work right now. I got a boss who's just spewing all her shit, and I'm taking it because I can do it. But I'm go on though.
Yeah. Okay. So manage your boss.
Oh yeah, I will.
Sometimes you have to manage your boss. That's a thing.
She gets fired and I take her job. No, go on.
Know how to say things and what to say and when to say them, and keep your boundaries. Right. Ask questions. Ask questions. That's a good way to do what you need to do without saying no. right? Ask questions. What would you prefer me prioritize, right? I did this, this, and this. I still have all these things. You're asking me to do this. What would you like me to do first?
Right.
That's
right.
it. Get curious.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I got this like ominous feeling she's gonna dump this giant load in my lap, and I don't want it at all. So I got enough right now. So like no. So I'll just be assertive. So
Okay.
but
Yeah,
thank
a
you.
little
Thank
bit.
you for putting
And
that together for me.
curious. This is about fulfilling your destiny kind of thing, like moving in your passion and your purpose. And then we've got a little bit of a conflict with clinging to the past and the subconscious, right? So in order for you to move
don't say.
forward and fulfill your dream of what you really want to do, we've got to release some things from the past.
Yes, we do. Yes, that's good. Okay, keep going.
This one also is about past. This is about past relationships and mistakes made in the past with regards to relationships. But then on the subconscious level, it's talking about rebirth. So it's about, again, leaving the past in the past and taking charge and moving forward. And if you just do that, guess what happens? We've got an element of, well, it can kind of seem like there's a little bit of a scary element. There are things, and yes, there can be obstacles, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Barriers.
Bad things ahead, right? Like scary bad things could happen, but you have the light within you. It's over here where the sword is. You have the light that's illuminating your path, and you have the protective force around you. So there really isn't anything to worry about. And it's merely about integrating, it's harmonizing, it's about taking the good with the bad and knowing that there really is no good or bad. It's all somewhere, there's something else, because truth is only half truth.
Right.
It's the dichotomy of the law of polarity.
Wow. You kind of blew my mind there.
Your person trying to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
There's a weird sensation that I get with that person, because it feels like they feel older and super young at the same time. So I don't know if they just have this young spirit to them, because it feels like that, like when a kid is like grabbing your pant leg and just being like, oh,
yeah. She did. Yeah. Yeah. And she was older than I am, so.
Yeah. Okay. So it might be, somebody who is a little bit
Not
older.
old, not much older, just a little bit. But I always did point that out to her that she was 3 to 30 years older than I was all the time.
Okay. So that's the thing, is really like the energies that they portray, at least with me, they show me things, and then they show me their personalities, right? So the personality that's there is this young child that's just like, look, I'm just going to be here until you acknowledge me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And we have, and she just keeps like, which is fine, which is reassuring. If anything, it's nice.
Okay,
but
so
it's constant. There's always been. It's like, and sometimes it seems like it comes in waves. Like it happens like a little bit, and then it happens like a lot to me, and a lot to like other people we know from this very same person. So it's just kind of like,
okay. There's something about puzzles. They like puzzles, or they're trying to maybe they're trying to puzzle you, but there's like a code that's in there. So you just unravel the code.
Right. It's a lot of recently in the last week. I mean, I know it's springtime, so the investigator in me, my brain says no, buddy, it's springtime. It's the birds. I'm seeing like cardinals like all the time. Like I'll look up in my office window, bam, they'll be flying by or pecking at the window, or like I look to see if I can switch lanes on the highway, and one will fly right by my window. It's just weird. It's just, I don't know. It's not weird. It's just like coincidental, I will say.
Synchronicitous.
Yeah, they use
synchronicitous. Yeah, so I feel like there's just, it's playful. So that's why it's there. Mm-hmm. It's playful. It likes you. It's there.
Yeah, I would hope so.
But there's something about the puzzles. Maybe it just wants to baffle you. Maybe it's playing a game.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's I completely. She was a bulldog. So I could. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
This is something that she would. This is something that she said she was going to do. She's
Oh,
going to die
well,
before all the
She
shows
said
on
she
the
was
bell,
going to
and
haunt the
she
shit
absolutely
out of
has.
you. Remember, that was
Yep.
her words. She's
Right.
going to haunt the shit out of all of us if she was the first one that crossed, and she did, and she is. She's
She has.
she's true to her word.
well,
She does, and she comes through with some people like on their cell phone. They'll like randomly get a picture of her when they turn on their phone in the day. Another one like will be like in her car waiting for her kid at gymnastics, and like it will come through on her radio like message from Heather. It's like Heather, this she has no other Heather on her phone, and it's just she's never already said this number because it's her best friend. And the last it did that twice, and then the third time it happened, it says it mentioned they knew each other from Twins Pizza in North Providence back in the day. That's where Heather and I met. And she said I had pizza the other day. It was better than Twins. And just like that weird, like exactness that we like. What the is this? What is this? Right? You just it's awesome though. It's
It is awesome,
I think it's awesome.
and it is her, buddy.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
her.
All
That's
day,
her
all day.
personality. You know, that's
just
just her.
showing you she's around, and
Yeah.
there's maybe there is no real message except for, see, I'm freaking here. I'm not
Yeah,
going
yeah,
anywhere.
right.
Like I feel like it's like I'm not going anywhere. You're gonna
Right.
acknowledge me, like I'm gonna be here, and I'm just gonna keep at it. You know,
Yeah.
it's
I believe
literally
it,
that
yeah.
kid pulling on your shirt or your
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not going anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
stuck with me.
It's nice. It's nice to have that, as a grieving husband. It's just
Oh my
it makes
God,
things
absolutely. It's
so
beautiful.
much incredibly easier to have that. It's not like I don't really have faith, but I mean I do, but I mean not like I don't know. It's just much more reassuring than I could ever imagine going and sitting in a church and like praying. I don't know. It's just amazing. So
It is
thank you.
amazing.
Yeah. There's so much more to look forward to in those messages too.
Mhm.
Yeah. There
Because
is.
especially when she's strong already, but when she gets stronger and stronger, you're gonna like if you think it's funny now, I kind of feel like she's laughing. Like if you think this is funny now,
Mhm.
wait till you see what's coming.
I mean, do you
Wait
know?
till
Do
you
you
see
know?
what I can really do? Hold
Yeah,
on. Yeah.
Do you know Rowan Comtois from Rhode
Yes.
Island? Yeah, all right. So he's given me about 5 messages from her in the last almost 4 years now.
Okay.
And then like countless, I can't tell you. We've hosted events with him and had like charity events with him, and like he'll be there with like 250 people. And he's like, yo, don't think you're gonna get away. And he just comes at me like, what the, like, and he tells you the like, how the fuck do you people know this shit? It just blows my, excuse my French. It just blows my mind. It just continues to blow my mind. So,
Well, he told you exactly what it was. Her last moments here were.
her last words on the
Exact
surf
moments were. He
it was
said
being
word for word, and there's no way he could have possibly known that.
he drew on his first purple paper message her in a hospital bed, and he drew like 13 people around her, and that's how many people were in the room, and then there was a bunch of people outside. But he like to know these kind of details. Like to know, he put one H. He put that on the top of the paper, and that's what I called her between me and her. Her name was Heather. I always called her H. Nobody really.
No one would know
Nobody
that.
knew.
I never knew that. Nobody knew,
You know,
and that was on the paper.
That's awesome.
it's just weird. It's just weird.
She's
So,
powerful, bud. She was powerful when she was here, and she's powerful on the other side. Her
She had
energy
abilities.
hasn't
She had
changed.
things that she didn't really want, but they happened to her, and she experienced like a whole lot more than I ever have. And it's if anything, it's transcended on the other side. It's absolutely amazing. So
Absolutely. All right, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope everyone out there watching this has enjoyed it as much as we have. And Nicole, we hope we can bring you back again someday soon. That would be fabulous.
Sure. That would be fabulous.
And everyone out there, we will see you again next week, same time. Okay, have a great week, and thank you to everyone. Good night.